Don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe
My soul to the company store.
Or do you say zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day?
My oh my, what a wonderful day. The sunshine coming my way. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay.
Do you know the thoughts you have at the very beginning of the day? It will set the tone for the rest of the day. I had to get up at 5:30. I'm not a 5:30 girl. I'm a 6:30 or 7 o'clock girl. And if it's been real late, it's a 7:30 or 8 o'clock girl. Y'all listen. When you work by yourself, you can set your own hours. So sometimes I'm working at midnight, and other times I'm, sleeping until 9. But the thing is, I had to get up at 5:30 this morning in order to get here. And so I was talking to a friend on the phone. She's also a widow and lives alone, and so we've made a point of calling each other to make sure you're alive. Yeah, she was concerned. She said, "What if you died during the day? Is anybody going to come to your house?" Well, somebody's at my house 2 or 3 times a week. Well, what'll happen? Well, I'll be dead. I won't care. She said, "But you'll be stinking. I gotta." And so we made a pact that we would call and just make sure that both of us would live through the day. And we were safely tucked into our house and getting ready to go to bed. And so I was getting ready. I was saying, "Well, pray for me. I gotta get up at 5:30 in the morning." And she said, "Oh, Jamie, that's gonna be hard because it was 11 o'clock last night." And so I'm going to ask you to start practicing the very same thing. You call it what you want it to be, not what it is. And so I said, "Oh no, I can do 5:30 as easily as I can do 7:30 or 8. It's all a mindset. I'm looking forward to going. I've been with this group before. I know how wonderful they are. I'm thrilled to be asked back. I'll be going, and it'll be no problem." Do you know I woke up at 5:15? And that's some of that mind control. If I had said and expected to feel bad because I was having to get up early, I would have. I cannot tell you the power of your mind. And so I told it, "No, we'll get up at 5:30 and we'll feel fine." And I woke up, and I was a little ticked that it was 5:15. I did tell it 5:30. I found another quotation that you don't have. It says, "It's not the direction of the wind, but the set of the sails that moves the ship in the right direction." Yeah. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. It's how have you set your mind to think. That's what moves you in a particular direction. If you look, it says that Abraham Lincoln says, "The pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, and the optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." Y'all, every difficulty offers you an opportunity to learn and grow and do something different. One time I was sitting in the airport in Washington, D.C. I was catching the last plane out. And that plane was packed, and all of the seats were taken. And you know how rude some people are. They'll sit in a seat and put their suitcase and bags in the next one, and other people are having to stand around and sit on the floor. Well, I've learned. I'm sorry, is that reserved for somebody? And oh, no, ma'am. And of course they moved it. Well, I found myself a bunch of suits. And when I say that, these are all business people. You know, men and women sitting around in their suits and their high heels and their ties and all this stuff. Well, I found myself a seat in the middle of them. And I was a little disappointed that we were delayed 3 hours. And the reason and it was already a late plane. The reason we were delayed is not because we had mechanical problems or because of the weather. They didn't have a crew. But they didn't have a crew. And I thought, how could that happen? We all had reservations. Did they know we were coming? Didn't have a crew. And so we had to wait till it forgot. And so we were sitting there, and somebody looked up and said, haven't I seen you before? I think you spoke at a convention where I was. And I said, well, yes. Hey, I'm Janie Walters. Well, somebody else says, and you spoke for me at a convention. Who are you? And lo and behold, I had found myself a group from the Mississippi Department of Education. They had been at a big conference there, and they were all coming back. And y'all, before we boarded that plane, I booked 3 more speeches. I wouldn't have booked that much work sitting in my office at home. So every difficulty, if you'll just look around, it will give you an opportunity for some description. Just trust them. Trust them. Then the next quotation comes from Scott Hamilton. Now, Scott Hamilton was the first American to win Olympic gold medals in figure skating, men's figure skating. And he said the only disability in life is a bad attitude.
Yes. Yes.
See, I don't know about you, but I've seen some people with some awful disabilities. I mean, people who have to be strapped into chairs, some of this muscular dystrophy and stuff, they can't hold their head up, they can't walk, they can't write. I've seen people born without arms. Can you imagine going through life without an arm? I mean, I've just seen some awful disabilities. And so he said the only real disability is a bad attitude. I thought, ooh, I'd rather have my arms and have a bad attitude. I was just thinking. But do you know, whenever you get to looking at it, it is so true. Yep. Some of you have heard of Johnny Erickson Tata. Johnny Erickson, in the 1950s, 60s maybe, was 17 years old and was in a diving accident. She was Miss Everything at her high school. She was an artist. Well, she was a straight A student, but she took a bad, jumped off of a bridge or something into a pool, a lake, and hit her head and became an instant quadriplegic. I mean, they pulled her out, and she wrote a book. Who read the book, Johnny, or seen the movie Johnny? Johnny. J-O-N-I. J-O-N-I. Anyway, she was, if you read the book and you know about her, she lay in the hospital bed forever. They expected her to die. She was on all kinds of breathing machines because she broke her neck at the base of her neck. The only thing she could move was her head. She couldn't move her shoulders. She couldn't move her arms. She couldn't move anything. And she said in her book, she said, I lay there and begged God to let me die. Please let me die. But after weeks and weeks, when it appeared as though she was going to continue to live, she said, well, if you're not going to let me die, teach me how to live. How do you live when all you can move is your head? Y'all look at somebody and say, all she had was a head. But the head contains the most important organ in your body. And I want you to know God answered that prayer. Part of her therapy, they put a paintbrush in her mouth. And they put the canvas right up to her. You artists will appreciate this. You probably have seen work done by ladies and gentlemen who have been disabled. And she began to paint with the paintbrush in her teeth. Well, they noticed that the paintings were fairly good, and to recoup some of the medical expenses, they made postcards out